This is All India Radio. In the program Spotlight, we now bring you an interaction of Information and Broadcasting Minister Shri Prakash Javadekar with community radios, followed by RBI Governor's press statement.
Hello and welcome to this program. I am Rangabashyam, and in this program we have with us Honorable Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting Shri Prakash Javadekar. And he would be interacting with the community radios of our country. And after the opening remarks of the Honorable Minister, we have received questions from a number of community radios from across the country. I'll name some of them. It's not possible to name all of them due to paucity of time. And these are Kadal Osai from Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu, Kisan Vani from Vidisha, Madhya Pradesh, Mattoli Community Radio from Wayanad in Kerala, Radio Alwar Ki Awaaz from Rajasthan, Radio Dastak, Ujjain, Madhya Pradesh, and Radio Jagriti, Jharkhand. Obviously, this list is not exhaustive. There are a number of other community radios who have sent in their questions and their issues which they want to address it to the Honorable Minister. But before I start putting questions, Javadekar Saab, first of all, I would like to request you for your opening remarks for community radio.
I am very happy to be with the community radio. We are not only community radio, we are a community by itself. We are reaching out to people every day, millions of people. And nobody should understand, nobody should feel that you are very small. You are very powerful. You have transmission capacity of FM quality in such area, 15 kilometers around you, so you are very powerful and you are the agents of change. You can become agents of change. And therefore, I wish that today is my second dialogue with you. One was in person in New Delhi, and now today in the COVID situation via phone. So I think this is good occasion. I am always eager to talk to all of you because you are important.
So what would you say? These are COVID-19 times and the entire nation has seen a lockdown for almost 2 months now. What would you say? Should we reconcile to the fact that coronavirus is here to stay for at least some foreseeable future?
The answer is yes, to an extent, because we are trying to zero on in the fight against COVID. But let us also understand that till the vaccine is found, and till vaccination of all 1.3 billion people is complete, it won't go like that. But we will do it as we have driven out many other diseases. This also we will fight against it and win the war. But till that time, that is next 1 or 2 years, we will have a new normal. And what is that new normal? Actually 4 simple steps. Stay as much as possible in your house. 2, wash your hands before any work to be done or after you complete the work. Then 3rd, mask yourself in public, definitely, and keep distance of 6 feet. I think with these 4 basic things, we can defeat corona. And that is the only real way to do that. So let us do and take pledge that we will follow this new protocol.
Javadekar Saab, I'm sure you'll agree that we need to strike a balance between restrictions, precautions and carrying on with economic activity. But how do we achieve this delicate balance?
Yeah, we can achieve this because we are very clear that yes, there will be restrictions in some containment areas, but there will not be restrictions as in lockdown 4. Now practically all green zones are open. So green zones are more than half the country, and that we will definitely do. There are also the orange zone where many things, so jaan bhi, jahan bhi. So we will continue with precaution and at the same time continue our economic activities as far as possible because that is the way forward. We cannot stop the wheel and we don't want to.
And so one question specifically, this is from the community radios. They want to know that do you plan to financially support them maybe on a per hour basis, and they say that we are very resource scarce as such.
No, actually we help financially while establishing the community radio station. As you know, we pay nearly 75% of the expenditure in the beginning to set up the radio station. And that is the main expenditure. But there is running expenditure, and running expenditure has to be borne by the institute which takes it. But I want to create framework where they can get money out of their activities. And one more thing which I want to tell is that I was told by my officers that we allow 7 minutes per hour of local advertisements for community radios. We give 12 minutes to the TV channels. So I will also now inquire and will examine, and I am eager to give equal time to all India radio stations, FM radio stations, and also the community radios, because then you can be on your own. You need not ask anybody for funds, because there are many local advertisements who will like to relay their advertisements on community radio.
So COVID-19 has shown that local efforts were probably the best way for containment, and community radios could play a very crucial role in such efforts of district administration. Has the ministry plans to allow community radios to broadcast news, and probably this would help counter rumors and also fake news?
Yes, absolutely. News are allowed on FM radios. So why not on radio? We will definitely consider it, because I don't know, even on FM they have to translate a version, or they have to relay the exact words of air news. So if they do it without any deviation, then that can be allowed to even community radios, and I am very much for this, and I will definitely consider it and take decision.
So what would you say? Community radios are probably more adept at countering fake news as such, which spreads in a particular community, in a particular area. They are more potent to counter fake news, isn't it, sir?
I think that community radios should do one good thing, that if there is on social media something fake is going on of that vicinity, immediately they should call their local contact and get it verified, and from the local officer, and immediately relay it that this is a fake news, and also communicate this to All India Radio, because then we will create platform also where you can immediately relay it, and so that will give us the correct picture immediately, instant reaction immediately, so we can stop fake news at the root.
Javdekarji, the ministry has an ambitious plan of having 4,000 community radios across the country, but still we have around just some 300 community radios. How do you propose to scale it up quickly?
I think we will definitely scale it up, because we will have a special scheme to expand for expansion of community radios. This is a very major tool of people's transmission, and we want to encourage this, and therefore I will ensure that the plan is unveiled very soon than later.
A number of efforts have been made by the government to counter the faltering economy, and announcement which was made recently of 20 lakh crore rupees. But despite that, it seems the opposition parties and critics are not satisfied with this package.
No, actually the country is satisfied. So people are happy, because what we have done is help the poor, needy by kind and cash, and made basic reforms in agriculture, in industry, in every sector, and are launching many welfare schemes through this package. So it's a comprehensive package, and it speaks volumes about our commitment to the faster development of the country, and we want to make our country self-reliant. Self-reliant is not isolationist. It is not cutting off from the world, actually engaging more aggressively with the world. We are today 1% of the foreign trade. We will have that to increase, and that can be increased by two ways: reducing import and increasing the exports. So that is what we will be engaged in with.
You spoke about foreign trade just a couple of months back, and all these years we have been talking about the entire world being a global village and totally interconnected, interdependent. But in these times of COVID-19, all the countries seem to shut down their borders. They don't want to trade. They don't want people to move across. They don't want goods to go across or to come into their country. So won't that be a problem now, the globalization?
No, I don't think there will be problem, because ultimately world trade has to move on, and it will move on, but there will be vaccine also. I am very confident that we will have vaccine ready in near future, and then we will vaccinate to vulnerable sections and others. Everybody will be available, and it will cure it. So I am always optimist on any such grievous situation also.
Mr. Javadekar, we have a vast network of medical and research laboratories all across the country. Don't you think now, you also spoke about the vaccine and you're optimistic that later we'll have a vaccine. Don't you think now at this juncture, all the national laboratories and research organizations should focus exclusively doing research on finding medicines and also vaccine for COVID-19 and maybe push back other researchers?
World over, practically major research labs are engaged in devising the new vaccine and related medicines because now this was unexpected, unimaginable, and what has happened to the world is very, very, very serious and grievous, and therefore all world is engaged to find a solution to it.
Mr. Javadekar, before we close this particular interaction, just one more question about fake news. In fact, a little more. You already spoke about fake news. But fake news and unreliable news, we have seen it even in these times of crisis, especially in social media and even other media, is a very big problem. How do you propose to tackle it?
First, fake news is not press freedom. Second is, fake news are very dangerous. And therefore, we must stop fake news at the root. And therefore, we are having the PIB fact check unit which verifies the facts, and community radio also can do by verifying the facts with their local contacts and immediately repair it, because that is the big and very important national duty to be performed. And therefore fake news is bad, fake news also worst.
Mr. Javadekar, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. All the best.
The Monetary Policy Committee, that is the MPC, reviewed the domestic and global developments and their implications for the outlook. The MPC voted unanimously for a reduction in policy repo rate and for maintaining the accommodative stance of monetary policy as long as necessary to revive growth and to mitigate the impact of COVID-19 while ensuring that inflation remains within the target. On the quantum of reduction, the MPC voted with a 5:1 majority to reduce the policy repo rate by 40 basis points, 40 basis points from 4.4% to 4%. Consequently, the MSF rate and the bank rate now stand reduced to 4.25% and reverse repo rate stands reduced to 3.35%. The global economy is inexorably headed into recession. The global manufacturing PMI contracted in April 2020. The global services PMI recorded its steepest decline in the history of the index. Among advanced economies that have released GDP readings for Q1 of 2020, contractions were in the range of 3.4% to 14.2%. For emerging market economies, the growth rate ranged between 2.9% and minus 6.8%. EMEs face additional pressures in the form of capital outflows and asset price volatility from the bouts of turbulence afflicting financial markets. The plunge in crude prices has dried up budgetary revenues for oil exporters. On the other hand, oil importers have been denied terms of trade gains by the crushing blow to demand delivered by the pandemic. According to the UNCTAD, the value of global trade contracted by 3% in Q1. The volume of world trade can shrink by 13 to 32% in the current year as projected by the WTO. Global financial markets have calmed after a turbulent period in March and volatility has ebbed, but markets have generally been disconnected from the developments in the real economy.
You were listening to an interaction of Information and Broadcasting Minister Shri Prakash Javadekar with community radios, followed by RBI Governor's press statement. You can listen to this program on our mobile app, News on AIR. It is also available on our website, newsonair.com.